Once upon a time, there was a rich merchant who had lots of money and goods. Sometimes he had to travel far to take care of his business. One day, he rode his horse far from home, carrying only a small bag with some biscuits and dates because he had to pass through a desert where there was no food. He reached his destination safely, finished his work, and started his journey back home. On the fourth day of his trip, it was very hot, so he stopped under some trees to rest. There, he found a fountain with clear water. He tied his horse to a branch, sat down, and ate some dates and biscuits from his bag. After eating, he washed his face and hands in the fountain. While he was doing this, he saw a big, angry genie approaching with a sword. The genie yelled at him, accusing him of killing his son and wanting to kill him in return. The merchant was scared and asked what he had done wrong. The genie said the merchant had killed his son by throwing stones around while eating. The stone hit his son's eye and killed him. The merchant apologized, saying he didn't mean to harm anyone. But the genie refused to forgive him, saying he would still kill him for what he had done. The merchant begged for mercy, saying it was an accident and he didn't mean any harm. "No," said the genie, "I will kill you just like you killed my son." With that, he grabbed the merchant's arm, threw him to the ground, and raised his sword to cut off his head. The merchant cried out that he was innocent and begged for mercy. He talked about his wife and children and tried desperately to save himself. But the genie, with his sword still raised, wasn't moved at all.
Scheherazade noticed that it was morning, and she knew the Sultan woke up early for his council meetings, so she stopped talking. Dinarzade said, "Wow, sister, that's an amazing story, but why did you stop?" Scheherazade replied, "The rest of the story is even more amazing. If only the Sultan would let me live another day and allow me to tell it to you tomorrow night." Shahryar, who was enjoying Scheherazade's storytelling, thought to himself, "I'll wait until tomorrow. I can always have her killed after I hear the end of her story." The Grand Vizier was very anxious, but he felt relieved when he saw the Sultan enter the council chamber without giving the order to kill Scheherazade. The next morning, before dawn, Dinarzade asked her sister to continue the story if she was awake. The Sultan didn't wait for Scheherazade to ask for permission. He said, "Keep going with the story of the genie and the merchant. I want to know what happens next."
When the merchant saw that the genie was determined to cut off his head, he pleaded, "Just one more thing, please. Let me go home for a short while to say goodbye to my wife and children and to make my will. After that, I'll come back here and you can kill me." The genie hesitated, saying, "But if I let you go, how do I know you'll come back?" The merchant promised, "I give you my word that I'll return without fail." "How much time do you need?" asked the genie. "I need a year," replied the merchant. "I promise to be back under these trees tomorrow next year to face my fate." With that, the genie vanished, leaving the merchant by the fountain. The merchant, feeling relieved, got on his horse and continued his journey. When he reached home, his wife and children were overjoyed to see him. But instead of being happy, he cried bitterly, letting them know something was wrong. "What's happened?" asked his wife. "Sadly," replied the merchant, "I only have a year to live." He told them about his encounter with the genie and how he promised to return in a year to be killed. They were devastated by the news and cried a lot. The next day, the merchant settled his affairs, paid his debts, gave gifts to his friends, and helped the poor. He freed his slaves and made sure his family was taken care of. As the year passed quickly, he prepared himself to leave. Saying goodbye was very hard for him, but he managed to do it. Finally, on the appointed day, he reached the place where he first met the genie. He sat by the fountain, waiting anxiously for the genie to appear. While he waited, an old man leading a deer approached. They greeted each other, and the old man asked why the merchant was in such a dangerous place with many evil genies around. The merchant explained his situation, and the old man was amazed. "This is incredible. I want to see what happens when you meet the genie," the old man said, sitting down next to the merchant. As they talked, another old man arrived with 2 black dogs. He asked why they were there, and the old man with the deer told him about the merchant's encounter with the genie. The second old man decided to stay and watch too, joining the others. Then, a third old man arrived and noticed the sad look on the merchant's face. After hearing the story, he also decided to stay and see what happened between the merchant and the genie. Soon, they saw a thick cloud of smoke in the distance. As it came closer, the smoke vanished, revealing the genie with a sword in hand. Without speaking, the genie grabbed the merchant and said, "Get up and let me kill you for what you did to my son." The merchant and the 3 old men began to cry and plead. The old man with the deer threw himself at the genie's feet and said, "Prince of the genies, please listen to me. Let me tell you my story and that of the deer. If you find it more amazing than the merchant's story, please reduce his punishment by 1/3. After some thought, the genie agreed to listen.
Get ready to be captivated by the next episode of our series, the story of the first old man and of the deer. In the intriguing tale of the old man and the deer, a merchant shares a perplexing ordeal involving his wife and son. His son mysteriously disappears, leading to a sequence of unexpected events. As the story unfolds, secrets are revealed, and the unexpected consequences leave the listener captivated, eager to uncover the full extent of the mystery.
Subscribe to our channel today and unlock the gateway to a world filled with captivating stories, mesmerizing adventures, and unforgettable characters. From daring voyages across the desert sands to encounters with powerful genies and cunning thieves, each tale promises to whisk you away on an extraordinary adventure. Subscribe today and let the adventure begin.